Alright guys, how you doing? Just looking at another, well, this is kind of an interesting video. I was just showing you guys kind of what I was up to. I was just making a jig to help out in making a dual layer board. A lot of times when you do dual layer boards, they, wow, my hands are dirty. Look at that. When you do double layer boards, the hardest part is lining everything up, and two, when you do the toner transfer method, I don't know if many of you know that, but that's where you take an iron and you print your circuit onto a sheet of paper, and photo paper that is, and then you basically iron it onto the PCB board. I've got some spare PC board here. Move this stuff out of the way for now. This is a dual-sided copper PCB board. I don't know if you can see that very well. I don't know if it'll focus right, but anyway, it's just a two-layer board, no inner layers, obviously, because you can't buy that kind of stuff. You have to have it made that way. So anyway, but this is just a two-layer board. You can just pick this up. Usually this stuff's pretty cheap. This particular one was like 10 cents a square inch or something like that. Actually, it was even cheaper than that. I think it was like 5 cents a square inch or something like that. So you can see I've cut some stuff out of it. But the deal is you'll put the paper over the top of it, and then you'll iron it with an iron, and what it does is it heats up the toner again and transfers it onto the copper, and then you use that as basically your solder mask. Basically, your masking, not solder mask, excuse me, but just your mask, your layer mask. So that way your etch resist mask is what you'll use it for, and that way when you etch this all out, it'll etch everything but what was printed, which will be your circuit. And I'll have a video on how to do all that. I just want to kind of show you guys what I was up to. Hadn't posted a video in a while, but the problem is a lot of times when you're doing dual layer boards, if you get it lined up where you got the one on one side and you got the the top and the bottom, the other on the other side, and you get them lined up, when you push down real hard and iron it, you'll get the toner to transfer to this side, but then when you flip it over and you iron it on this side, the pressure pushes the toner on the bottom side back onto the paper, which is kind of a problem. And so it's really hard to get these to work properly, because then you try to peel it off, and since you pushed all this pressure on this side will peel off and be perfectly fine, but this side, since all the pressure basically transferred the toner back onto the paper, it's not going to peel off very well. So I made kind of like a jig type thing out of two pieces. It isn't done. I mean, this is still a work in progress. But what the idea is with these holes in the sides, which are only about a ½ inch apart, I believe. These holes in the sides will give me, basically, I can do this with it. I can take the board, and in the outline layer, which I showed you guys how to kind of draw the board or whatever, just draw the outline of the board to have holes. Like maybe this one's going to be a real small board, so maybe we'll have just two holes, one here and one there that are so far apart, it's the same dimension as this. And you take it, and then that way you'll have basically alignment holes. You'll put your PC board in. Like I said, our board's going to be a lot smaller, but just let's pretend with me that there's holes in here. You can put a peg in here, put a peg in there, put your sheets of paper, on the bottom and on the top, and do the same thing with those, poke holes in them that are in the same spots. Put all this together with alignment pins and sandwich this in between with bolts, and then in maybe a couple other holes, maybe these two holes will be alignment pins, and these two holes will be screws, and maybe those two holes up top will be screws too. And then you can screw this all together, or use vice grips or a clamp of some sort, and clamp all this together to where it is clamped. And it's under a lot of pressure. I don't know if I can do this one-handed here. I don't have a tripod yet. But basically you've got this smashed in between these two pieces of steel. And the idea is then you should be able to take a propane torch or a resistive heater of some sort, maybe like this one that I have over here, like a heat gun type seal. This is actually a solder rework station. But basically it has this little kind of like heat gun. Now you can take this tip off, and you got a real big aperture on it. But then you can sit here and just basically nuke this thing, and then the heat will spread out, on the metal surface here. The heat will spread all out, and then you basically get a pressure heating type situation that you'll have with the iron, except you're not going to be putting pressure on only one side. Since you clamp it together, it's got pressure on all sides, and so that's kind of my idea. So this is what I've been tinkering with. Sorry I haven't been on YouTube recently posted any new videos because it's been a while, but I've been trying to get these made and try this out to see if it's going to work properly for us, and if so, then we'll post videos on how this is going to work and everything, and so we'll get all of our stuff rolling. So that's what I've been up to. It's been, and I haven't only been up to this. There's been a lot of family stuff that's been going on here lately and whatnot with me. So I have not disappeared. So just so you know, more videos will be coming on the way. In fact, I had someone that talked to me about doing more ADC stuff. So I may slip some other videos, some kind of viewer request videos. I'll slip some of those in here and there, and maybe, you know, maybe we'll kind of do a bunch of stuff in the process of this whole design that we're doing from start to finish. So stay tuned. See you guys later.